Hello and welcome to Sports Room. I'm Anirudh Madhavan and with me is veteran journalist Ayaz Memon. On today's episodes, we'll be taking a look at the India squads that have been announced for South Africa and also talk a little bit about the drama about Hardik Pandya returning to the Mumbai Indians. So, Ayaz will start off with the test squad first for South Africa and we it's a noticeable thing that two of India's batting mainstays are not present right now, which I'm obviously talking about Cheteshwar, Pujara-Rahane and Ajinkya Rahane and this seemed to be a long time coming in some people's opinions. But what do you say? Do you think this is sort of a permanent call on their careers now?
Well, let me put it this way: one can't say never, that they will not play for India again, because we saw what happened with Rahane. He came back in the World Test Championship final and played there, and did rather well actually. So, but subsequently his form kind of deserted him. So he's out on the sidelines along with Cheteshwar Pujara. Both of them were in the WTC final. They are both in their mid-30s, perhaps maybe a little older than Virat Kohli or thereabouts. So what the point is, it's not just about age, which may be a matter of numbers, but it's also about the pressure for places in the Indian squad now. It's not so easy to get a place if you lose it, whoever that may be. I mean, there was so much pressure even on Virat Kohli, when you remember. It was mounting, though he had a long and barren spell stretching to 2.5 years. But you could hear the groundswell of kind of opinion against him, saying, but how long can we allow him to continue like this? And then, of course, he came back very strongly. The last 12 months have been fantastic for Virat. Now, can Pujara and Ajinkya Rahane perform similarly? Now, the disadvantage for both of them is that they play only one format, which is the test format, and uh, at least internationally. And when you do that, you actually kept away from the public eye as well as the eye of the selectors for most of the time. And if you lose your test place, then it becomes even more difficult to train the spotlights on you, because where do you see them? Where do you see them play apart from first class cricket? So I think it's going to be tough for them. We've got young talent here like Yashasvi Jaiswal coming up. Shubman Gill is there, as you know. Apart from Rohit and Virat, the two mainstays, there's Shreyas Iyer, who's also in the test squad here. uh, Ishan Kishan making a claim for being in the test side regularly. KL Rahul has come back. So, I mean, it's going to be very, very difficult for Cheteshwar and Ajinkya to return to the test team. Like I said earlier, one can't say for that this is it. Uh, this is we've seen the last of them. I wouldn't, say that at all. We've seen a lot of careers that get resurrected suddenly. So, but I must say that it's going to be very difficult for both of them now.
Yeah. And moving on to the player, when you talk about resurrections, I just want to bring up this guy again because not only because he does great for YouTube views, but Sanju Samson is once again in the ODI setup. And this guy seems to have the biggest fan base for someone who's not an India regular. But then there's this whole perception that he keeps failing every time you've given him a chance. So where does this put him?
Well, first things first, he must consider himself lucky that he's back in the squad, going to wear India colors again. Now, obviously, the for Sanju Samson, for somebody who's so gifted, and the number of opportunities that he's got, where he's not really cashed in. When I say cashed in, it doesn't mean 30s and 40s, which he makes in great style, but going on to make those really big scores, which leave an indelible impact on the minds of the selectors and fellow players and so on. Now, some part of it is obviously to do with luck. Sanju Samson gets an opportunity again, but they're playing overseas. It's not on the flat Indian pitches. This is going to be in South Africa. Not always easy, even in white ball cricket, to score heavily when you're playing away from home. But hey, this is an opportunity. So I don't think he can. He should look a good gift horse in the mouth. He's been, with the Indian team intermittently. Every now and then you see Sanju Samson coming back. And if you're on the circuit, Anilo, then you would realize when you speak to coaches and players and support staff and fellow cricketers, they all have so much uh, either warmth or respect for Sanju's talent. So now this is an opportunity for him again. It's not too many matches, but even so, with the T20 World Cup coming up in 6-7 months' time, this is an opportunity to make an impact in whatever he's going to play. He's going to play ODIs here, but even so, if you show yourself to be, you know, doing well in the white ball cricket, whatever the format, then one leads to the other, and that's where he can get an extension of his career.
Yeah. And as we talk about Samson, he's been a mainstay of the IPL. He's been captaining Rajasthan for quite some time. And talking of the IPL, we move on to the news of the week, or past 2 weeks now, is Hardik Pandya and his will he, won't he with Gujarat Titans and Mumbai Indians. He's finally now back with MI. So what was this whole drama happening in the background?
Well, that's the interesting part. What happened in the background? Where did they approach each other? What exactly transpired? It's a bit of a haze, in the sense who approached whom first and so on. Now that is, I think, there's been a lot of speculation about it. I think right now what's clear is that he is moving back, and it couldn't have been easy for anybody, especially even for Hardik. I know a lot of people have kind of mentioned, oh, but he's gone back for the money. Maybe he's gone back for the money. I mean, money is obviously going to be a big factor in any decision like this. But he's also giving up the captaincy of Gujarat Titans, which he had managed marvelously well. Winning a title in his first season, runners up in the second season. So, and he's not going to be. There's no clarity whether he's going to be captain of Mumbai Indians. I don't think so. I think Rohit Sharma is still there. So, but that part, what I think is emerging clearly is that the the nature of how retention and trades and auctions take place, it has brought that into sharp focus again. IPL, how things happen. So a lot of people thought, hey, how can this be done? But actually, there's a window of opportunity for after the trade. There's a 1 week period or 1 week before the auction, and so on, that exists, that allows such deals to take place. One can keep asking or saying, but why should a player? But what is clear, of course, is that Ravindra Jadeja in the past had suffered a 1 year ban, if you remember, in the second or third season of the IPL, when he was trying to move away from Rajasthan Royals, and the negotiations were kind of brought to light, or came to the notice of the IPL governing council, and the transfer couldn't take place, and he had to wait out a year before he joined CSK. Now, in this case, it seems that everything is, there's no bug in the system where this transaction has taken place. But what it also is emerging now clearly is that there is, you can't suppress player power. If the player wants to go, there's not much you can do, provided there is a buyer, there's a taker. And that is point one. The other point is that we are heading towards a system, I think, with a lot of the owners, IPL team owners, having multiple franchises across the world in different T20 leagues. So you can have a situation where players are being signed for 50, 60 crore to go and play in multiple leagues for the same owners. So I mean, this has been also discussed earlier in the past, but that seems to be a one step closer to that. So you may be, we may, in the going ahead, find not necessarily Hardik Pandya, it could be some other player who signs up for a franchise here, but that franchise has a team in Caribbean Premier League, in South African, whatever, the T20 league there, uh, in the Gulf, or wherever else a new franchise, new T20 league comes up, then how do the rotation of players by the same owners is up to the discretion of the owners. So these are, I think, we are in the throes of, the this whole process, this whole business of T20 leagues all across the world, and multiple teams being owned by same set of owners, is evolving, and where it is going to be steered is something that is both fascinating and should be watched with a lot of interest, because what we imagine today may not exactly be the same process tomorrow.
And as you said, we keep watching this because this is bound to be in the news till the IPL eventually starts. But there's another topic that will keep mouths wagging for quite some time now, which is there have been reports that, of course, Rohit and Virat are not part of the white ball series in South Africa. They've requested rest, I think. But there has been speculation, and Saurav Ganguly seems to have said that he wants Rohit Sharma to be captain of the T20 World Cup side, India's squad. But there has also been speculation about Virat Kohli's place in the side. So it's all up in the air right now, and ball seems to be in Rohit's court. But what do you make of that situation?
I mean, look, if Rohit is playing T20, then I don't see any choice between any issue about him retaining the captaincy. I don't think they'll go in for a new captain just for the T20 format with Rohit in the team. If he's not in the team, that's a different matter. Then obviously you have to look for another captain. Will Virat continue to play in T20s? I think the ball is really in his court, not because the form that he's shown has been exemplary across formats. So I can't see the BCCI taking call. See, if the World T20 was about 2 years away, maybe. But if it's just 6 months away and there's no issue regarding fitness for where Virat Kohli is concerned, so I don't see him not being in the team. So it's possible that Rohit will be the captain and Virat will certainly be in the team when we go to the West Indies and the US, where the next T20 World Cup will be played. I think also what is of interest and which is really good is that the whole support staff led by Chief Coach Rahul Dravid has been given this extension. For now it seems it's up to the T20 World Cup. I would have been happier with a more extended kind of tenure for them, because the whole look, when he joined as chief coach, we were playing the 2021 T20 World Cup, I think, so it's been a 2-year cycle almost. He's had the World Cup where we reached the final, T20 World Cup, the World Test Championship where we reached the final, but there's a sense of we could have done a little more and we've been top of the pops. And here's an opportunity. So it starts again with the T20 World Cup. And then I don't know whether Dravid himself wants an extension beyond 6 months, because he's often said he's got a young family which he wants to look after and he would rather be, spending more time with them. But, all this is in the air. Right now, I think there is a strong momentum which this team has had. There's a great rapport that is evident between all the key players and the support staff. So, with the immediacy of the T20 World Cup, I think it's a very good decision that the BCCI offered the extension to these guys and they've taken it.
Yeah, and they've taken it, and Rahul Dravid continues as coach. But one decision he would not like, coming back to my earlier point, I don't think he would want to be in that room when that decision is being taken. And you definitely don't envy the selectors right now, especially if one of Rohit or Virat make it to the team and the other doesn't.
Just to clarify, I mean, not clarify, just to put a little toss an opinion on this. I mean, who are your two best batsmen in the ODI World Cup now? Rohit and Virat. So, and it's 6 months later. As I said, the T20 format is very different, but it's also shorter. In the sense that your time commitment on the field is not as much. So, if Rohit, it's not so much about his fitness for a T20 game as the desire to continue playing. I think for both of them, the issue is about desire to play T20 because they're playing all the other formats also.
And so this issue will keep, I think, there'll be reams written about this going into up till the T20 World Cup. Right now, the India-Australia T20 series is going on, and there seems to be some interest, but then there is sort of an exhaustion amongst at least the casual fans after the long and tiring World Cup. Have you been watching every game, and has something stuck out to you? For me personally, I feel Rinku Singh is growing, and which is a really good sign.
Yeah, I mean, look what it's showing. I mean, I'm watching all the matches because that's our job. So we watch it. It's obviously it's a bit of a downer after the thrills of the ODI World Cup. But yeah, you're right. Rinku Singh has been the talking point. Also, Yashasvi Jaiswal. I think Surya Kumar Yadav again. Showing how different he is from ODIs and T20. That's coming through very clearly. So I think that but you must remember, or at least we must remember now, that the Australians are now at half strength, going ahead with just a couple of matches remaining. So That is not of consequence necessarily, but the T20 World Cup is coming up, so all these boys, the way they perform, is adding to their to their credentials one way or the other, and that's important for Indian cricket.
We'll wrap up the sort of this T20 series in our next episode and talk more about all the developments that are bound to happen. So that's it for this week of the Sports Room. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.